going on, everybody? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We are on the homestead today. I wanted to take a quick 5 minutes to review this budget Amazon cook kit that I purchased. So stick around, let's get to it.
It's probably important to note why I wanted to buy a budget cook set when I already have adequate gear and inspect it and run some tests on it. Reason is, a friend of mine asked me about a different set, which was similar, a little bit more expensive, maybe nicer, and was curious as to whether or not it would be a good set for backpacking and, canoe camping and things like that. I decided against it and told him that it probably wasn't the greatest because it was aluminum and it had these coatings on the handles and stuff like that, and I worried about cooking in the fire with it. Being a knife maker, I wasn't crazy about the metal used, the aluminum used on these. I prefer the titanium. So I decided to purchase this cook set on Amazon with my own money and dig into it a little bit to see if it was worth the investment or the hassle. So first thing I did was get a fire going so that it could get some coals so I could try it on the fire and see how it worked in terms of cooking on a fire. And then I started unpacking the contents, which you can see here. So it has the top pot, which is, can be used as a pan. The bottom pot, which is fairly sizable. I think it was 1100 milliliters, but I am going to put those details up here on the screen so you can see the capacities. But I was pretty impressed by the stuff that was included in this. That's why I decided to grab this one. So it has the two pots, which act as a lid. It has the stainless mug, which you saw, and it comes with this little stainless steel folding spoon, which is kicking my butt unwrapping. And then the burner itself, and a little cloth for cleaning it out. You could probably use that to silence your fuel can inside of it, so it wasn't too bad. So here you can see the contents and what's included in the kit. The next thing I did was get the burner set up. I wanted to see what the boil time was like on this burner. It's a little bit chunky and maybe a little bit heavier. It's definitely not an ultralight setup, but it does have a nice anodized aluminum base, it looks like, and steel flanges to hold your pot, so it wasn't too bad. Plus it came with an igniter. So I got the water going, about 14 ounces or so, which was a pretty big boil, and started a timer for 3 minutes to see if it could get it to go to a boil in under 3 minutes. So we didn't make the 3-minute mark, but I wasn't really surprised at that. Like I said, it was a sizable amount of water. I like to boil a little bit extra so I have my meal and some to drink if needed. So it took a little bit longer, another 30 seconds or so. So about 4 minutes we had a nice rolling boil. After getting the boil going on the burner, it was time to test it on the fire to see how well the handles would hold up to some heat. I don't have a raging fire going, but pretty low and slow cooking fire worked really well. So I found that it was a little cumbersome to manage this pot slash lid as well as the handles on the pot itself, the larger pot, but we got it in there and got it by the fire, and I started keeping an eye on the finish of the aluminum as well as the material on the handles.
Alright, so the consensus is that it is, in my opinion, worth the 30 bucks that I spent on it. I would basically disregard all the other stuff that it came with and carry it just like I just showed you. Basically, I'd have the bottom cooked pot. I put a paper towel on this to silence it. Stick that in there. Stand on top of your fuel, your burner, and much like I carry my titanium cook set, I'll put a link for that video in the description. A small piece of sponge and a lighter in there, just in case the igniter on this burner fails, which there's probably a good chance that it might. So, but all the other stuff I would maybe hang on to, but probably wouldn't carry. It's all well and good, except for when you put that stainless cup inside of this, you're not going to be able to fit your fuel canister in there. And the stainless spoon, cool and all that it comes with it, but very short, and you're not going to be able to get that even in this pot. Never mind a backpacking meal or something like that that usually requires a long handle spoon. So that's it. That's the verdict. The verdict is that this is $31 on Amazon. I'll put the link for this also in the description. If you're looking to get into backpacking and save some money, I think that this is definitely an okay route. I can't speak for its longevity, but basic fire cooking, as long as you don't, start a banger in there, it'll be okay. I was surprised at how well the coating on the handles held up and didn't melt. I thought it might have been plastic versus like a silicone. It seems to do okay. So basic campfire cooking, and the burner works okay. It's not like a pocket rocket or anything like that, but for 30 bucks you can build yourself a nice little cook kit that works for backpacking, canoe camping, whatever the case may be. So if you learned something, and you found the product that you enjoy, I appreciate you sticking around and watching the review. Give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so when I do some more of these 5-minute reviews, you'll get notified and maybe you'll be able to save some money. Until then, thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you soon.